Probably wish it happened a bit earlier, to be honest. You're now the outlier, like you have to maybe think about adapting how you do things. But yeah, it was a real eye-opener for me.
Again, touching on personality traits and preferences, if I think about myself, I'm very much a blue. I'm very contained. I'm very empathetic. I'm, always thinking about others. I would never be a great leader. I couldn't lead a team. But describe to me your personality traits and what kind of colour are you? I'm guessing, I'm pretty much sure I can guess your colour.
What's the darkest form of red?
A deep red.
Yeah.
But how would you describe your personality from a psychology perspective, which has made you a fantastic leader?
I got forced into it. Really, I did everything to avoid the test first and foremost.
Did you?
Yeah, Stuart Lancaster came into Leinster and he wanted everyone to do it.
Yeah,
and it was literally I was the only one that hadn't sort of come up to him to get the forms and do all the, and even when I got the test, I was kind of if I thought the answer was 5 and that was my honest answer, I was coming back to 3 out of 5. I was trying to cheat it. It still didn't work. But yeah, it was a real eye opener for me because I suppose the new generation, if you makes me sound so old, but it's true. He showed up like a pie chart of eventually when I succumbed to doing the test. He showed a pie chart of our organisation, which was Leinster at the time, and yeah, a lot of blue, good bit of yellow, which all mean different things. You know what I mean? But then there was this sliver of red, 1%, and when he put it up, everyone turned to me and started laughing, and it was it was very funny. But then after the meeting, Stuart called me back and was like, "Do you see what I'm getting at now?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're in the minority. You're now the outlier. You have to maybe think about adapting how you do things to get the best out of all these people that are a certain way." And it was probably tough to take, but it was also again, it was me 10 years ago would have gone off. Full of shit, you know what I mean, and just not listen to the feedback. But I was keen to try and improve that part of me, which is the leadership, because I was throughout my career, I was very conscious of always trying to get better at my kicking or my passing, my running game, my decision making, all the bits that the people see at the weekend. But I never ever thought about how I lead or how I interact with people, and it was a real eye opener for me, and probably wish it happened a bit earlier, to be honest. Yeah.
What were the biggest learnings though? Was it more about learning the styles that your team members were, and I suppose the coach and staff around you as well? Was it understanding how they operate in terms of how do I speak to them? How do they perceive what I'm saying? And that kind of thing. Was that the biggest learning?
Yeah, a bit of that, definitely. But also self-awareness of what, he also used to speak about redhead and bluehead, and the bluehead, real clear thinking, redhead, irrational, emotional. But I used to argue with him, I was in the heat of battle, I've lost a head here, and but I'm playing. I still I actually think that gets the best out of me.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, okay, well, I could see that, but does it get the best out of all your teammates? And I never thought about it like that. And he showed me some clips as well, which was hard to watch, because I don't like watching myself, especially when I've made a mistake or lost the head a little bit. And he goes, look, you're shaking your head here. And I was like, yeah, but I'm shaking my head because I made a mistake. And he goes, so you're shaking your head about your mistake? And I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, but your teammate thinks you're shaking your head because he's just made a mistake.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just that, self-awareness of, now I never got it perfect. I don't never even close to it. But I think when you try and get better at it and you do improve a bit, I think people will see it and they'll appreciate it and
respect it.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. It gives you a bit more, so when you do have a stern word with the team as a captain, or you do say that's not good enough, well, they go, okay, well, he hasn't done this in a long time, so he must really feel it, as opposed to doing it every day.
Yeah, yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that in it, but also very rewarding. When you come out the other side of it and you learn a different way, and I suppose. But ultimately, all you're trying to do is get the respect of your teammates and peers. Really, you know what I mean.
But the communication through that is huge, isn't it? I think we would do the insights between our small team. And we, I was never in a team like you were, but I had, my coach and my physio and, psychologists and stuff. And we all communicated completely differently. And particularly myself and my coach, he was, red, he was fiery,
Really?
he was, very emotional, and, he felt that he was getting the best out of me by getting me, really angry and riled up. But, I was the opposite to that. I needed him to be calm and, allow me to be calm. And then I could get myself up for competition the way I did. And I suppose those really small, like subtle cues have such a big impact on how you perform as a team. And that's something that you obviously were able to master. When there are so many supplement brands springing up, it's so refreshing to find one that I trust when it comes to quality and impact. Arta's award-winning range, which targets everything from gut health and energy to metabolism and longevity, is formulated with great care by their passionate founder, Rhiann Stevenson. Arta's supplements combine the highest quality ingredients to deliver results that you can really feel. No half measures, no cutting corners, just innovative formulas designed to work. Taking care of my body is so critical to how I perform, how I feel every day, and ultimately how I age. I'm loving their new multivitamin advanced multi-nutrient. This multi has an impressive list of over 40 vitamins, minerals, and herbs with specialized ingredients like wild blueberry, turmeric, sage. The list goes on. Right now, you can save 20% across their range with the code GOLDMINES. Head to arta.co today.
Yeah, and that shows the importance of, for me anyway, good people, good coaches, not forcing you to do it, but showing you the other way. And I suppose that's clear in the book in many ways, is the amount of great coaches and great people that I was involved with that sort of made me evolve. And they're probably the ones that need to take the most amount of credit.
Yeah, great people around you.
Yeah.
And then I'm just looking back at this picture of you and your family, and obviously your wife Laura is a huge part of your success and the man you are today. And I think about happiness, like happiness on the pitch and on the track is key, isn't it? You've got to be in a good headspace, but you've got to have that consistency and that happiness off the track and off the pitch as well. Tell me a little bit about Laura. I know you've been together for a very long time. Did you meet playing? Was you met playing tennis?
We met like when we were 12 and 13, like, and we were very good friends. And then we got together later in our teens and been together ever since, which I used to get a lot of slagging from the boys. But no, she's been there. Like, it's been amazing because she's been there for the whole way through my career. And then obviously when you have a family, like, she takes the brunt of everything. When you're gone training all day, or you're gone for, like, I used to be gone for 2 months at a time, and there's no way I could have performed or played well worrying about what's going on at home. But the confidence that that she's doing an amazing job, and she was in it with me in many ways. She would feel the losses, feel the pain of the when the scrutiny and the criticism was all there. She'd feel that as well. So, which is good and bad in some ways. At those moments, you wish that she was just oblivious to it all and didn't really care about it. But it's a little bit unique, but it's also it's very special to do with her.
Were you able to switch off though from what was happening at training, and when you're that person that
and that was the hard bit.
Yeah,
that was the hard bit. So I'd come home, she'd know straight away, like, walk in the door, she'd know. She's like, who'd you fight with? I was like, how'd you know? She's like, I can tell straight away.